Hockey's back, baby. Let's go.
I think that's the goal there, to be honest. That hockey was phenomenal. All right, Phil Kessel is a Stanley Cup champion once again. Woo! Hey, Bruce, there it is. Bruce, there it was. At least it wasn't Adam Fox.
It's two juggernauts just colliding with each other. What?
Weird.
Now we have to deal with another generational talent in Chicago. Root.
Boom, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to you. Boom, Soldier Boy Town. Talking stuff. That was a bit of a throwback there. I mean, is it really a throwback for us? How old were we when Soldier Boy came out? We were just wee little lads. Little lads.
No puberty, no nothing.
No, nothing exactly. But anyways, boys, welcome back to Puck and Stuff Podcast. We got a lot to talk about today. I'm T-Dog with your boy B-Dog here. How you doing, good sir?
I'm doing pretty good on this side. I do got to say a lot has happened in the NHL since, obviously, we last talked about it, because there has been some trades, there's been some moving of players and moving of coaches. So the league is spicing up, and we haven't even hit the All-Star break yet. So I love to see it, and we're on to another CHEL Talk. I cannot.
Honestly, thanks for reminding me there's an All-Star break, because the only thing, well, okay, I'll be honest, the only thing that's actually keeping me in the loop is the fact that Tate McRae is one of the coaches for the All-Star thing, and you just look at the comment section, it's just Cole Sillinger. So that's been pretty funny, you know. And NHL meme accounts be going off right now, but it's been pretty funny. But you're right though, there has been a lot. Not just in the realm of news and trades and signings and coaching firings, just the league itself in terms of standings. Like I feel like it's completely not completely flipped, but a lot has changed since the last time we did an NHL discussion.
Yeah, and it was like literally only a week or two ago since we did it. So honestly, T-Dog, let's get right into it of what has happened throughout the league since we last talked about it. I believe the first thing is a big-ass trade.
Well, there was a big trade. So, World Juniors, all us Canadians start weeping about we're the only country that cares about the tournament too. So, like, it's just, I think it's even funnier about that. Point being, Team USA wins the World Juniors. Then Cutter Gauthier says, nah, I don't want to play for the Philadelphia Flyers, and then gets a nice trade to sunny Orange County, Anaheim. And in return, Jamie Drysdale goes to the Philadelphia Flyers. If I'm correct here, let me just double check the trade. There's a second rounder in that puppy too, hey? Yes. So the official one, Drysdale, the full cap hit and everything, goes to Philly with 25 second round pick in exchange for Cutter Gauthier, or the signing rights, because of course he has yet to be signed. You know what? At first, people are just bashing Philly for this trade. And then we see or hear about the drama. The drama is that he didn't want to play for the team. So what do you do? I'm going to say this. The fact that you get a player in Drysdale, just let it alone. Don't worry about the injuries right now, because just alone, getting an asset like that for someone who, like, you lose leverage because he doesn't want to play for your team.
Yeah.
That's pretty solid. Drysdale is ready to play, right?
Yeah.
Now, Cutter Gauthier will most likely be a stud, but he has yet to play in the NHL, so you don't know. So I want to hear your thoughts kind of on this trade.
Okay, so obviously we did have the Cutter Gauthier and the Drysdale trade, and it kind of came out of nowhere, I'm not going to lie, because literally, like you said, the US won gold, and then Gauthier gets traded out of nowhere. Funny enough, he is a Pittsburgh Penguins fan, and being
a big Sig fan.
You aren't a fan of Philly, so I can understand that. But this isn't the first time in the NHL where we've had a player dislike the city or the team and he requesting a trade. Us being Flames fans, the first name that pops up is Adam Fox.
Boo!
So honestly, Flames fans know how it feels, but as a Philly fan, you're happy you're still getting a guy like Drysdale here, because let's think, he's just 21, 22 years old. He's played 15 games, 7 points. it's still a great player, and especially when you're thinking of how Philly is building right now, their forwards are pretty set, but their defense wise is kind of scary. But now you add Drysdale to that, and it changes a lot of the dynamic in Philly defensively. It looks like a lot better core defensive wise adding him. And when you look at Cutter Gauthier, Anaheim, your forward core for the future looks absolutely deadly. Leo Carlson, we got Trevor Zegras technically still there. We just added Gauthier.
He'll get traded soon, but yeah.
Soon. You got Mason McTavish there. Like, dude, that is a crazy future top 6 right there, right?
And a solid defenseman of Pavel Mintyukov, which I think is the reason why they traded. Yeah, but when this trade happened, what I was thinking was, it's actually crazy how we already knew that Anaheim had a nice future ahead of them, and we thought, the core would be made up of Zegras, Drysdale, McTavish, but Leo Carlson has come in, and they don't honestly need Zegras. They don't need Drysdale because they have these other assets, so they can kind of play around and get something in return. But yeah, getting someone like Gauthier, who has that potential. You do pair that with Carlson. It's gonna look pretty nice. I want to quickly mention, let's about Philly's defense there. So right now, I would say it's young in the top 4 slots. It gets a little older at the end there. Like Sanheim, he's 27. Ristolainen is 29. He's more prime age. Walker's 29. Drysdale's 21. Cam York is 23. Mark Stahl's 37. Goodness. Nick Sealer's 30. And then Yegor Zamula, who did the Yager salute there yesterday, was just pretty funny. He's 23. Yeah. So more or less, actually, it's older than I just read it out, but not bad. Not bad.
Adding the piece Danny B's got definitely helps, man. It does help.
Oh, 100%. Danny B's got some pieces here. And it makes sense why Philly's kind of in that spot where I think they're second in their division right now. Hold on, let me check.
I think they just jumped up the second in the Metropolitan.
Yep, had a Carolina behind the New York Rangers. I don't think anyone expected those guys to be in the playoffs, but they're playing with some house money and they're kind of going all the way with it.
Yeah, kind of funny that I make a contenders or pretenders TikTok and we say we're pretenders on Philly. So kind of regretting that a little bit right now. But dude, it's kind of crazy that team hasn't gone Michkov in that system yet. That's crazy.
That's true.
I feel like
that's true.
That's crazy. No Michkov in that, and but honestly, going back to Drysdale, I think that's a great piece to add in the circumstance you were in with Philly, especially with Cutter Gauthier. And in the juniors, in 7 games, he did put up 12 points with the U.S., so that alone shows how impressive he is on the ice. But if you realistically had to put a winner in this situation, who would you say won it?
I would say right now, just because Drysdale is playing NHL minutes, it's Drysdale.
Yeah.
Long term, if Gauthier turns out is what he wants to be, then I honestly think then it becomes a win-win. So, to me, this trade is right now a win for Philly, just because you have a player that's playing right now in the system. But like in most trades, we might come back to this 3-4 years from now, and it's gonna be a different idea. So. I'm going to say Anaheim right now.
Fair
enough. No, Philly. I said Philly. Philly. I was gonna say, I'm still thinking Drysdale's on that team. Yeah, I've been Philly.
Okay. So we got T-Dog picking Philly as the winner for that. I'm not going to lie. In the circumstance, all the drama and everything, I still think Philly won the trade because a 21-year-old Jamie Drysdale is still such an impressive top 4 defenseman that I think Philly really needs in the situation they're in right now, especially in the standings. So right now, I'm going to say they win, but I'm excited to see what Gauthier will do in the future, especially with a deadly forward group like Anaheim has right now. But I think Philly won the trade as of right now. Cool.
Well, you know who else is winning right now?
Ooh.
Millie Nylander winning some big bucks, getting a nice new contract, $11.5 million for 8 years.
Hey.
That's a stud.
Hold that.
I wish he would have come to Calgary, but that doesn't happen.
No.
But dude's a stud. It's
Dude's
deserved.
a stud. Dude's a stud, but how the hell do
Style,
they
baby.
afford all of this? Over 50% of their cap space right now is going towards 4 players. Think about that. Just think about that. Over
They have
50% of your cap space in Toronto is going towards.
You know, it, man, like it makes you start to realize that each year it's going to get more drastic for them
Yep.
because you need depth, of course. All your depth are on 1-year deals, right?
Yeah.
Bertuzzi, Domi, Nick Robertson, Noah Gregor, Bobby McCann. Nyes and Holmberg have 2 years left on their entry deals, but that's tough. Like, he's gonna get that money, and yes, the cap will go up. But man, there's a lot of the decisions that will be made after this season are gonna be determined by how they do in the playoffs. It's and here's the thing, like the way they've been playing, I don't know if you go far in the playoffs. Is it another second round exit? It could be.
Maybe even
I
first again, depending who you
it's
match up with.
and I mean this is why I'm so excited for that trade deadline because they're gonna do something to try and go for some defensive depth. And I wonder where they get it.
Yeah.
Now, right now on Cap Friendly, they have no
No cap space. No,
$0.
no cap space.
$0.
Yeah, that's what
They have
I
a little
said.
So maybe more people will go on the IR and then they can go get a Chris Tanev or something. But you're getting rentals. And again, the problem is you get rentals for that playoff run. And then if you don't do anything with that, you lose them. And you're probably not going to sign them because do you have that money? You don't. And this also begs the question, too, like, then what happens to, like, John Tavares? Because let's be real, out of the 4 core, or we're saying 5 with Morgan Riley here? So 5.
Yeah, 5, I guess.
I'd say, I mean, look here, I want Morgan Riley on my team if I had him. But Johnny T's the one dipping, man. You don't want to lose Matthews, of course. You don't want to lose Marner. You don't want to lose Nylander. And I guess, they're all locked up and stuff. And I think Tavares is the contract that's coming down soon. Yes, Johnny T in 2 years, correct. Oh, Marner too, though. So, that's tough. But, anyways, forget about that. Let's just talk about Nylander himself. Worth every penny. He is a great forward, and I just feel like as he's aged, he's aging. I guess I can't say age like fine wine because he's not that old, but I think he's just gotten better as ages as kind of come by, and who wouldn't want a Willie Nylander on your team? And he solidifies like a top 6 role.
I definitely gotta say it did come out of kind of nowhere because I think a lot of people were speculating that they could potentially trade him at the deadline, where based on Toronto wasn't playing that great. But Brad Treliving somehow was able to sign him. And yes, out of that 4 core that you mentioned with Matthews, Marner, Tavares, and him, the one that does have to go is John Tavares, sadly enough, because like you said, you don't want to get rid of Matthews. Mitch Marner is a name that I've heard they could potentially get rid of, but I think that would piss off too many Toronto fans to be able to.
But the assets you get, and that's the thing.
Dude, you get such a good defensive core out of just that one trade. Just for
but at the same time, you're gonna probably have to retain cap because who can afford 10-9? Chicago. That's about it. Arizona probably. Yeah.
Celebrating
maybe.
Mitch Marner and Connor Bedard.
Yo, that'd be pretty good, actually. That'd be pretty good, actually. Let's be real here. We know Blackhawks getting Bedard and Taves and Kane reincarnated.
Yeah, literally. But
fair.
again, you're still right on the point that each year William Nylander's with the Leafs, he does get better because we looked at 2022, he had 81 games, 80 points. 2022-2023 season, he had 80 games played, 87 points. And this year alone, he's played 44 games and is already at a 61 points. So you could tell if he's going on this pace, he will break his career high in points, which means he just keeps getting better. But Then there's that situation again. We always come to Toronto when we get near playoff time. Do they have enough gas to beat a team and get past the second or the first round? Because based on how the matchups are looking right now, it could be potentially Tampa or Florida.
Yeah,
And they're both hard fights.
the unfortunate part about how the playoff seeding works is Toronto's always going to kind of play one of these teams. Would you prefer the 1-8 seed again? Because I would prefer. I found like the series and the rivalries back then were just so much better. Like you're not gonna see a Vancouver Chicago series ever again. Like most likely not.
Yeah.
But those are fantastic. You know what I mean?
I
guess this is probably a bad example.
The biggest thing that bugs me with how we structure the playoff system off of divisions instead of what we do with conferences is imagine in one division, like you got 5 teams just battling it out for those wild cards in one division.
Always in the Atlantic. It happens every day, every time in the Atlantic, every year.
Exactly.
It's going to happen in the Pacific this year too.
Because at least if it was a conference structure, the teams that fought and had more points than others would make it, but division structure, they don't. It's literally just a division battle instead of a whole conference battle. So you're not realistically getting the best teams out of that conference in playoffs. You're getting the best in the division, which I think kind of screws a lot of teams, especially trying to fight for playoffs. That's what I think about the conference.
In my opinion, excuse me, you switch it back to 1-8 seed for the playoffs, and then you do a 3-point win type of scenario where it's like you win a game in regulation, you get 3 points. You win a game in OT, you win 2.
Ooh.
Still 1 point for OT loss. I think that would fix a lot because the 2 teams have been messed up because of it.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
What?
Well, tough for Lane Lambert, but he got fired. The New York Islanders have just recently fired their head coach Lane Lambert and replaced them with I can't hear you. I got 2 Stanley Cup rings in my ears. Patrick Roy.
Patrick Roy.
Patrick Roy. So it's higher. I mean, Lou Lamoriello has tunnel vision, and I mean, I think we already knew this before that because the signing and stuff that Lamoriello does, he's been, that no one's like gonna not persuade him to not do what he wants to do, right? So, I just want to hear what you think about this hire and the fire.
It was different. I wasn't expecting you have been kind of complaining that the Islanders realistically haven't done anything to change how they're playing in the
same team every year.
Exactly.
Same team every year.
So,
but is that the coach's fault? Only have 3 Anders can score some goals who that's what you're getting. It's a defensive structured team. You got a fantastic goalie in Sorokin, so that's why you win games. But why it's like the Flames thing, man. It's like, why are you always in that same kind of position? Flames are always the mediocre, and the Islanders are always in the playoffs, have a good series, and then they kind of like disappoint.
They never make it past first.
And it's a change. And so, I mean, Patrick Roy they've won their first game today with Patrick Roy. Let me check the score here of what that game was. 3-2 OT win against the Dallas Stars. That's a convincing win, beating the Stars. That's a pretty fantastic team. But this isn't, you do the hockey guy always says this. You fire the coach because it's the easy thing to do, right?
Yeah.
Which sucks because Lambert's not a bad coach. That's what has been said by many players. And so he's going to lose his job because of the poor performance, which where are they? Third, 51 points. Yeah, so I mean they're 1 point out of a playoff spot. But yeah, win percentage is a 5.54. Last 10, they're 3-5-2, which would have been worse without that win today. I mean, they're not a good away team. Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing as before. I don't know. So we'll see if Watkins sparks some stuff. He seems like he's already going on him pretty hard. But I think you needed to a little more than just change the coach to kind of turn the ship around. And as well, too, they probably did it because, well, look at Edmonton. They changed the coach. But Minnesota did it, and that hasn't worked out. Flip of the coin, pretty much.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so if we look at the Islanders, like I said, they have not changed a single thing, as T-Dog always mentions, in a few seasons, other than the coaches, because that's the only, like T-Dog just said, that's the easiest thing a team can do is fire a coach. But let's look at Patrick Waugh as a head coach. He was the head coach, the vice president of hockey operations with the Colorado Avalanche during the 2015 and 16 season. And he wasn't a great coach. I'm not gonna lie. He was not the greatest coach with the Colorado Avalanche.
I remember watching that Avalanche team live.
Yeah.
They weren't good teams, man.
Yeah.
It was a team with young McKinnon too, right? Like, and not Rantanen, sorry, Landeskog.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
before the Joe Sakic era, let's just say that. But
Yeah.
after that, he did get fired from Colorado as the head coach, and he actually decided to become the head coach of the Quebec junior team for a couple of years, from 2018 to 19 season, all the way until last year. And now he's got a new coaching job with the Islanders. So what you can take out of this with Patrick Waugh is he's a top 3 NHL goaltender of all time. He does have a little bit more coaching experience under his belt in the last couple of years of coaching juniors, which it's a start. He's got the coaching experience in the juniors. It's just now the biggest thing is adapting to the NHL coaching. And do I think he could do that? It's going to be tough, especially with the Islanders team. But I still think the Islanders are a very talented team with Bo Horvat there, Matt Barzal there, Sorokin and net. So especially for a goalie like Sorokin and Patrick Waugh there, he could give them a lot of tips on how to play the game better, right? So could it help with the playoff push? Sure. But that's realistically all I see. I don't think it's a massive upgrade, and I don't think it's a massive decline in the same sense. But I mean, they won today. That's a start.
Yeah. Oh, that's probably why too. Because I forgot the Quebec Ramparts did win.
Yeah.
The Memorial Cup this year. So that's probably another sign too.
Well, as we switch things up, we do have to talk about something that has been going absolute ballistic in the NHL world right now, and it involves our rivals up north, the Edmonton Oilers. They set an NHL record for the longest winning streak in Canadian franchise history with 13 straight wins. They
Crazy.
were at the bottom of our division, and they just passed right by us, and now they're third in the Pacific, potentially jumping over Vegas soon. T-Dog, what are your thoughts on this crazy winning streak Edmonton's on?
So anyway, we just talked about the coaches bump that New York wants. Edmonton got that. Although Knobloch's a good coach. He has a good record wherever he goes.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's just Knobloch. I think the addition of Paul Coffey is what's kind of setting them apart. And when I first saw the firings and hirings, I'm thinking, oh, great, another boys club member. How does that always work? Sometimes. Craig McTavish, it worked, but sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
And so Coffee comes in, and I gotta say, like, I watch Oilers games because my dad's an Oilers fan, so I'm watching a lot of Oilers games too. And the team looks better defensively; they look calmer, and McDavid's playing the style that's not just score a million points. He could, like, you can tell, like, he could be scoring more at will, but they're in depth scoring.
Yeah,
and at needed times, not always, but at needed times. You take that into the playoffs, that could get you somewhere. And Skinner has been good. He's been solid. Like, he actually has some decent numbers right now. And you can't blame the goaltending for any of this. I mean, the winning is just, it's a team effort is what I see from it. But definitely because the defense looks more structured and, confident. I think that's why they're winning these 13 games. And what's crazy too is the next games they play, I think they play like Nashville, Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
They play Columbus too. They play Columbus. Dude, they can win all these games. I don't think it'll happen, but they could tie the Penguins record. The 92-93 season. The Lemieux days, bro. 17 wins in a row. It's crazy.
4 games.
So we'll see what happens. I mean, if Edmonton's sake, don't put all your wins in the regular season because you want to win something else. But it's crazy what they're doing. Like seriously, it's what a story.
I mean, so far, yeah, what a story, being one of the bottom teams of the West and coming out of nowhere and breaking a winning streak for Canadian franchises. Well, I hate to hear it, but I love to hear it involving my Pacific standings because if they jump all the way to first, hallelujah. But then there's Vancouver in that. But anyways, back to Edmonton in a sense. Yeah, you do got to give a lot of credit to Skinner, and another guy they picked up is Pickard. They're both goaltenders have picked up their game and are playing a lot better. I mean, as we were just literally talking about the Islanders and their coaching change, yeah, I mean, so far this is working really well for Edmonton in that case. And another name for one of the players you definitely have to give a lot of credit to in how this team is playing, especially defensively wise, is Evan Bouchard. He's a point per game defenseman right now with 11 goals and 31 assists. That is a crazy signing because he's under $4 million for 3 years. Oh, what a steal for them right now. But yeah, I hate it because it's Edmonton, but
yeah,
it's good hockey.
It is. It's good hockey, man. I mean, that's how it is, man. But I gotta say, man. I mean, we'll get this into Flames talk. That Battle of Alberta game, Flames were in it.
Yeah.
Not just Vidar. Like after the first period, Flames stuck around for a bit. So at least the Flames have been competitive consistently. That's what I like. At least I just want celebrity.
You know what? I'm just gonna wait until Flames talk to say something.
I just want Iserman. Anyways. Yeah, Edmonton's been playing. Also, too, Hyman. I mean, he's on pace for 40 goals, I think.
Yeah, he has
Hyman's been
28
scoring
goals, 17 assists for 45 points in 41 games. So,
yep,
Hyman leads third in points on Edmonton.
Yep, and that's what they need. It's it's an anomaly to see these things occur, like win streaks and certain type of records being broken. So I love that we get to see it. In real time.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. I mean, it just shows that I think this Oilers team's maturing.
Yeah.
Because I wonder if a younger team of this stature would have kind of just let it be, even with a coach. I think that McDavid, I remember hearing something about how McDavid is kind of doing some sort of is changing up the leadership a bit where he's letting the other players be a little more accountable. So I think they're just trying to learn from the mistakes that they made the past years, right? Because they could have beat Vegas and then Aiden Hill stole the show, right? I mean, they got destroyed by Colorado, so I'm not even going to say that, but I think they realized that they're close. Yeah. But I think they realize that they're close and just take it. But yeah, I gotta say, shout out to Paul Koff and Knoblauch for that. But dude, the wagon keeps on rolling, man. Cause they signed a player.
Who? Potentially signed a player, or they signed a player?
Well, I think it's confirmed because it's been all confirmed by the all the inside guys, but it just hasn't been posted officially on the Twitter. But Corey Perry is going to be an Edmonton Oiler.
Well,
and Edmonton, like the rehab center, bro. Like the NHL put the rehab center in Edmonton, apparently. So, I mean, all controversies aside of what he has done and who he is as a person, player wise, are you losing in the finals? I mean, I bet you they take that, but you're getting grit, man. You're getting a depth player who's. I mean, that's playoff caliber right there, man. Playoff caliber. Although, whose spot he's taking? Is he taking Sam Gagner's spot? Is he taking Ryan McLeod's spot? I don't know. So, it's something, but you seem amused by this trade, hey?
It's not even a trade, it's just a signing. I'm amazed.
Signing.
So, Let's look at his record so far going from a few teams. We start with Dallas back in the COVID years. He joined Dallas, brought them
How
to
many
a
moms?
Huh?
How many? Never mind. Keep going.
No, okay.
Keep going.
So we start off with Dallas in the COVID years. He brings them to a Stanley Cup final. They lose to Tampa. He decides to join Montreal. They go to a Stanley Cup final. What happens? They lose in the Stanley Cup finals to Tampa. He decides to join Tampa. He finally said, screw it. I'm joining the team I can never beat. They verse Colorado in the finals. Guess what happens? They lose.
Couldn't do the Marian Hossa.
And guess what? Corey Perry's going to join the Edmonton Oilers. The Oilers are going to go to the finals. And guess what's going to happen? They're going to lose. I can't wait to see it.
Crazy stuff.
Why? Why?
Well, what's funny is all the memes are like, "Oh, he's eligible to be back," and everyone's like, "Kenny Money or Ken Holland's gonna be calling him up." He was, but you know what's crazy? Actually, I was just doing some research on that earlier today when the news broke. He got requests from the Rangers, the Florida Panthers. I can't remember the other team. I think it was the Lightning again. It was the Panthers, Lightning, and then the other team that I just said. That was
Rangers.
some Rangers. That was some.
Yeah.
Wow, how did I forget that? Anyways, he denied those to go play for Edmonton.
I mean,
ballsy. That's got to be because of McDavid.
Has to be. But at the
Well,
same
I get the
time,
win
dude,
streak.
can you imagine Corey Perry in a Canadian market media right now? Could you imagine him talking to the media in Canada right now?
Dude, it's going to be like
Ballsy.
a dollar store version of Sean Strickland.
Literally what we saw last night.
Great fights, by the way, boys.
Oh, it was amazing.
Fights are fantastic, man. Yeah, they're so good. Well,
Yeah.
except for that undercard. Undercard was a little just big clinching fest.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're if you enjoy the sport, then you probably are a technical person, you probably enjoy it. But anyways, besides the point. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, media wise.
like it's ballsy. He could have just went self and never had to deal with that. But the Canadian market, like media, is going to say something to him. That's going to be like, really? You have to say that now? Like, really?
This is what I've always thought about it with Canadian teams. Where, yeah, when you go to a team, you're going to probably get absolutely called out by media if you're not playing well or whatever. But if you win, like, dude, you're a hero. You know what I mean?
Bro.
If McDavid wins a cup in Edmonton, the dude is going to get he's going to have a road named after him.
He's probably going to get a statue.
It will happen, right? Exactly. Same with Toronto. Vancouver probably too. Of course, Vancouver actually. Calgary. Yeah. I mean, think about it, man.
Give Huberdeau a statue.
Right?
We shit on him for years. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't see that shit.
Hey man, he can sell.
We didn't even give Matty McDonald a fucking statue after that. Dude.
Hey man, Huberdeau's been playing good recently, so
whatever.
My point being is, yeah, it's like you know what you're getting yourself into, but it's a high risk, high reward situation. You lose, it's whatever. Man, you give your heart and soul to the organization, and you win something. You're a hero, man. You are a hero. So I think it's the glory thing, man. I think athletes, have somewhat money, but and all that stuff. And of course, people play for the passion of the game. But some of these a lot of these players, man, imagine winning, saying like, yeah, I was a part of the team that broke like the cup curse. But I wonder if that's kind of why he went to Edmonton.
Maybe. I mean, let's see if Edmonton can break the Corey Perry curse, because I don't think that's going to happen. I'm sorry, dude. I just don't see it. Literally, Corey Perry deciding not to go to the Rangers, Florida, or back to Tampa might have saved them actually in the long run. He might have just screwed Edmonton.
Possibly. And all I know is with how good these Western Canadian teams have been, Edmonton, Vancouver, Winnipeg, Wagon have been. It's because they're Canadian teams. I'm still like, are you going far? I don't know. It's I don't know. It's been something. I want another trade or signing. Goodness, another signing where I think it's just time will tell, and you kind of have to leave it at that until they get knocked out in the finals. So
Yep, pretty much. It's confirmed at this point. Oilers making the finals and then losing in 6. So calling it right there, and they're gonna versus the Carolina Hurricanes, and they're gonna lift their first cup. So it's gonna be
wait, Justin Williams back from retirement?
whoa,
Mr. Game 7.
Yo, Frank, think about that with Jordan Stahl on Carolina.
Oh,
No, I swear I've been here before. Same situation. This isn't the right arena I played in Edmonton.
Oh, did we
Okay.
injure your starter again? My bad.
Skinner gets injured. They have to bring up Jack Campbell up. Yeah, you see that
Yeah.
bro, you see that Metallica music playing again, and there's Sandman, and you see Mike Smith coming out of the locker room.
Yeah, I see Mike Smith coming back. Woo! Yeah.
Yo.
Crowd's like,
Oh my god.
yay!
Hilarious.
Okay,
Dude.
Calvin Pecker's got it.
Yeah, he's fine. He's
Got
good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. All I know is it's as we're getting some memes out of the season. But yeah, I think before we end this NHL episode, let's quickly talk about the standings.
Oh,
We were
sure.
just talking about Edmonton and how their win streak has bumped them up. They're third in the Pacific. Vegas, I mean, they could catch them by the end of the week, right?
Yeah.
Edmonton's got 4 games on hand. Vegas got 59 points. Still a good team. Vancouver, absolute wagon, right? First in the league right now.
Sure.
But what I want to talk about right now specifically is LA. LA has completely done a 180 of what Edmonton has done. And they're what are they? 2-5-1?
Yeah, 2-5-3, if I'm correct.
10. They just won a game.
I mean, they're slipping from that spot, but they still got a wild card, so they're still in it.
All I know is we were right about the Fleury trade.
Yeah.
Honestly, because PLV is just Huberdeau, just not Huberdeau.
Yeah.
And Velarde is putting up points with Winnipeg. Excuse me, consistently.
With the idea of LA, there's still a really good team there, but they're just in a little slump right now. Unless they make a major trade again or something, I personally don't see them doing anything at the moment, but I think they're just in a slump. They still have a few points over a few teams, especially in the West, because as I'm looking at it, Arizona, Seattle, and the Flames, and the Blues, technically the Wild, are fighting for wild cards. God, that sounds weird. We can't even fucking beat Arizona.
Honestly, I actually feel like for the West right now, what the standings are right now is what it's going to be come playoff time. Just a few of these teams switching around for what placement they are. Because I honestly don't see Arizona, Seattle, and Calgary being that desperate to honestly go for that second wild card. Like, I think Nashville could keep it. I think LA is going to keep it. Edmonton will probably, I'm guessing Edmonton's going to be second. I'm guessing Vegas is third. No, they play each other again. Oh, fun.
First round against those two. Oh, brother.
Guessing Winnipeg takes first. Colorado, Dallas. Like, I don't see, East to me is a little more like, okay, I don't really know what's going to happen as much with the wild cards, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like the West is starting to become a little more saturated.
I mean, I would say it looks like a little bit more of a hunt for a wild card spot. Like there's more teams fighting for a wild card spot there is in the West than there is the East. Because if we look at the East for wild cards, we got Toronto and Detroit there with 54 and 53 points. Then the closest team is Washington with 50, New Jersey with 49, the Islanders with 51, the Penguins with 48, and the Canadiens with 45. So I feel it's close, but I feel like it's a little bit more intense in the West than it is the East. And then when you look at the Metropolitan and the Atlantic of those 3 teams, Carolina probably won't lose that spot. The Flyers might just drop down, maybe back to a wild card spot, depending on what happens.
Yeah, if they do go on a losing streak.
I think the Rangers might win the division this year. And then Tampa with 53 points might jump back and forth with Toronto, depending. And Florida has 58 points in second, and then Boston with 65 leading the Atlantic. So I don't think I don't think Florida or Boston would realistically change where they are in the standings.
Mm-hmm. Wings. I mean, third. They were not in a playoff spot, and then
They jump back up.
back in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something. You're right. You're right. I maybe in my head I feel that the East just will be a little more competitive, even though the West has more teams for trying to go for it or more eligible to.
Feel like
I don't
we've
know. I
always
just feel like
had
it's
the
more set.
conversation. Yeah, I feel like we've always had that conversation with the East and the West of like it looks more competitive in the East, but you could see there's more teams fighting for a spot in the West. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, as we get to the All-Star break, I feel like you start to know a little more, and yeah, I mean, league. This has been a good season. It's been fun.
I'm
So I'll
excited.
pretty much just get to see what happens, and I feel like once we hit March, then you really want to hit playoffs. I can't believe it that it's like because it's the 21st. Yeah, man. So like in 10 days, it's gonna be February or 11 days,
Oh, brother.
and then once February's gone, it's March, and then you start playoffs in late April.
Oh God, I gotta move
Time
out soon. Oh boy,
time
this is crazy.
flies, man. It's
Yeah, time flies
crazy.
when you're getting older, but
Yeah, but hey, that's so good. I mean, soon enough, bro, we'll be yeah,
yeah.
Mexico it up, buddy. Yes,
Mexico.
sir.
Yes, sure. But hey, guys, that has been CHEL Talk for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, leave a like, a comment, and subscribe. We'd love the support you guys give on this channel. If you do, just subscribe. Share it with some friends. Why not? But yeah, T-Dog, we'll wrap this up.
Cool. Like B-Dog said, thank you very much for listening, watching, however you are consuming this content. If you didn't like, smash the like button down below. Leave a comment as well. Comment question of the day. How surprised are you about Corey Perry wanting to play for Oil Country?
Oil country.
Yeah. It's crazy how it goes. Anyways, guys, keep on rocking in the free road, like Nardwar says. And yeah, hopefully the Chiefs lose against the Ravens because we cannot have Taylor Swift
Or actually, no.
getting a Swiftie Bowl. We cannot have that because
No
it just makes
Swifties
social
here.
media worse. No, it's an L, bro.
Yeah.
Also, my Packers lost, so I'm a little sad about that. But the 49ers are pretty good. I'd be okay if they win. Ravens are probably going to win. What do you think?
I want 49ers to win.
You want 49ers? Ah, that's fair.
Brock Purdy
Yeah.
wins Super Bowl.
Yeah, fair. Bro, Purdy he's him.
Good.
Anyways, guys, enjoy the playoffs as well. Super Bowl's almost there too. And we can all laugh in harmony when the Chiefs lose, I hope. And we can also laugh in harmony when we see those disgusting NHL All-Star jerseys in action pretty soon here. All right, guys, take care. Have a good one. We'll see you in the next one.
See you at the All-Star break.
Peace.